It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Divas That Care network. It is a beautiful network full of a community of women that just love to support each other. And you can follow all of the amazing podcasts at www.divasthatcare.com. I am your host on the Journey Through Stuck segment, Coach Crazy Cat, and I'm super blessed and grateful to be on with my friend Tonya Matthews, who is a fellow publisher, and she has one book done, another one coming out, and we're going to learn all about her story. So welcome, Tonya. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is exciting for me. So exciting.
So we were talking a little bit, and I love your story because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are going to be able to relate to it. Life can be really difficult and rocky and frustrating, and it's trying to keep that hope through all of that. And you and your husband have had your share of challenges with infertility and years of trying to get pregnant and then not able to and deciding to adopt. And then all that hope, and then, girls are teenage girls and they're kind of going to do their own thing. So raising teenage girls is difficult. And so it's been kind of, this roller coaster of yay, yay. And as a result, you started writing as an outlet, but also as a way to kind of connect with God. So tell us a little bit about overcoming that roller coaster and how writing has helped you.
Right. I love your summary. I mean, that is just so perfect with just the whole reality of it. Yes. So Todd and I, my husband, our family, it didn't start quickly or easily for us. And so in those years where I was trying to start our family, I was working full time, and I was covering at the time that we were doing, the third and fourth efforts at, higher levels than we ever really wanted to think we would be investing in. I was covering at my work 3 maternity leaves, and also my sister was pregnant. My 2 sister-in-laws were pregnant. So, and then at church, of course, friends our age were all announcing their great news and everything. So, I mean, there was really no place that I could be that I wasn't just constantly holding my breath and, aching. And so, so I ended up, after reading several books as a way to escape, to get my mind to clear, and just being disappointed. I mean, I read a lot of good books, and when I read a good book, I want to, in the end, just close it and hold it and go, wow, and, think about it the next day and tell my friends. And so I had been disappointed with a couple books that, had been recommended. And so I sat down and just started writing more than anything, just to escape. It was a healthy escape. I could feel the story, the need for the characters, adventure, and to work those emotions that I was having through the characters, knowing that I could create the hope that I did believe in and that I needed to feel. And so, it just, the book just happened. I would sit in the back room by myself. We had one vehicle because we were saving up money and spending it and, trying to have the babies. And so, when my husband needed to go somewhere, there was, I either went with him, which was, I guess, good for our marriage, because at that point, you're either together in this or you're not. So, but there would be times I'd stay home and I would just sit in the back room and I would write, and I didn't know where it was coming from. No one ever told me through, school. I made good grades, always, tried for the A, but no one ever said, hey, Tonya, read your essay in front of the, student body or anything. It wasn't like there was a super excelling or someone saying to me, you've got this talent, Tonya. It really, it is what God gave me to survive. And it has been just a joy that sometimes I'm just alone and I'm writing and I get up and I just do a dance, because one part of the book that I didn't know was even going to connect. I mean, I'm writing this book, and one part of the book connects to another part of the book, and I didn't even see it going there. And then that's just, it's so meaningful and such a message that I needed, and other people have responded to that message. So it's just exciting to see what's unplanned that God already has planned, and watch it, come about, and to get to be a part of it, and hope that I am not getting in the way of what he's doing.
Oh, that's so incredible. And it had to have been so difficult when you went through it, but how awesome that God gave you an outlet and something that can bless others. Which brings us to your two books. So it's Faith Treasure Atop the Mountain, and Roxy Applesauce, which I just
I know. Where did that come from, right? Yeah.
So Treasure Atop the Mountain is about Gracie.
Yes.
And she has a physical challenge and doesn't really see the value in herself, but there's this great community, and then just things happen, and she realizes that God's been with her all along. So introduce us to Gracie.
Okay, so Gracie is just the sweetest ever. You'll meet her in her teen years, and she's in this small community, rural community set in 1965, and she's living with her grandfather. She's been through just unfortunate circumstances that no one should really have to go through, and but she's been loved. She's always been loved, and the community just encircles her. And so Cage, he comes to town as a traveler, which is not, a good reputation. And he's had an unfortunate past, but has a great heart. And so together they really find support for each other, but their road isn't simple. And in the end, really, it is a story of broken pieces put together for something beautiful, and the fact that God is in this all along, even when you don't know it. And that's when Gracie, at the end of the book, it's that top of the mountain moment, whenever you do realize that, God, you've been here. You never left me. You actually had me the whole time. So.
Oh, that just sounds incredible. So it's a love story, and it's a faith story, and it's overcoming life's difficult.
I know I'm disappearing, but I want to, the readers say it better than me. So if you would allow me to read because this is what's been, it's just, I can say why I wrote the book, but the readers who have experienced what the book meant to them is, again, that picture of what God's doing, because I never expected to even meet these people. And so one writes, I'm not a book person, but after reading Treasure Atop the Mountain, I have changed my mind. It's a sweet, faith-filled story about life, resilience, and overcoming adversity. I found myself thinking about it even when I wasn't reading it. I'm in love with these characters. I relate to them all in different ways. I have drawn on every emotion and found myself lost in their lives. I couldn't put it down. I finished it in just one day. Since reading it, its message hasn't left me. The unexpected revelation at the conclusion will make you close the book with a smile. It is a story of love, yet it's not a typical love story. This is a book you will definitely lend to friends of any age, but you'll expect them to return it to you. So that's multiple reviews put together. And so I use that in a promotional card. But again, the readers really, and how their response to it is just where the magic is, because that's where God has allowed me to put my arms around people that I didn't even know, and for them to be forever friends in this venture. And so again, just like Gracie, it's kind of like that on top of the mountain, God moment where you were there all along. Really awesome. I mean, wake up, Tonya. So.
That's so beautiful. Wow. What they wrote is just amazing. Gives me goosebumps.
Well, it's what makes me just again, know that, God has a plan. There's been a lot of disappointment, hurt, and pain. Had we, had children right away, the easy way, as if there's such a thing as, it's painful, I'm sure. But we, these books would not exist. I don't know what I would have done with that level of creativity if it would have just been, absorbed by my children and, everything. But I don't know that I would have started it, and I don't know that it would have grown. And so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for God having options for those of us who don't get gifted with the obvious wants.
Yes. Oh, so beautiful. And so now we have Roxy Applesauce coming out on August 21st. You'll be at Barnes & Noble.
I will, yes.
A big treasure event, which is going to be awesome. So Roxy Applesauce is about Marcella, and she has a different set of circumstances and challenges and frustrations about the world. And, where Gracie felt very loved and supported, even though she had a physical challenge, Marcella, not so much. And she feels left out and doesn't trust that people love her. So introduce us to Marcella.
Okay. So Roxy Applesauce is Marcella's lifelong best friend of sorts. And you read the book and you learn more about that. So Marcella has had just an impossibly, she's truly never known love outside of Roxy, and she invented Roxy. So with that, Marcella really only knows happiness through Roxy. And so Marcella, as an elderly, homeless lady, she meets Halia. Now, Halia is the storyline that comes from Treasure Atop the Mountain, which makes it the sequel. And with Halia, there's that I'll leave that to the reader to see. But those two storylines intertwine, and in the end, there is that piece of life that Marcella would have never even given herself the moment or the right to have, that God plants, where that this is nothing less than God. He is, it's definitely a God thing, and that it's a blessing to everyone, and really inspires even the younger generation in the book, which is a big part too of what leads us into the next book, when we get to know that generation as more in their adult years.
It just sounds absolutely beautiful. And my copies are on the way. My grandmother Rose loves to read too, so I'll have to interview her about it when she reads it.
Oh, I would love it. Awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be so. I'll introduce you to her. She's a spitfire.
Good deal.
But for anybody who wants to catch up with you, like maybe they are writing a book and they would like to interact with you about your publishing, or know about your books and how to buy them, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, the easiest way is you can just log on and TonyaLMatthews.com. That's TONYAL, Matthews with two T's, MATTHEWS.com. That would have everything about the books, and also more about just my journey, and the pictures of my beautiful girls, and a little bit about how we're learning to continue to love even through the struggles, and that God had him before he had him before I had him, so he still has him even when I can't, and when it just doesn't work like a mom would want.
Oh, so beautiful. Well, I hope that you guys will reach out to Tonya. We'll have the links as well. if you're a friend of mine and you're like, I have to meet her, then just let me know and I'll get you in touch.
Yay.
But I'm so excited to be sharing more about your books, and it was beautiful to be on with you today. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just want to say that, I mean, because when you kind of are down in the valley, you really can see and feel and know when, God sends a little bit of sunshine, and you have been sunshine on a day I needed it. And even who you've connected me with, I can feel that, because I was saying with the self-publishing component that I really kind of needed a partner in this, because I've always been part of a team. And so I was missing that, piece. Well, it's so interesting because Elise, who you had me, her first video is, guess who your partner should be? God. When you do it, it's like, remind me of what I should have already. I mean, So what was I asking for? I mean, I was asking for something that seemed like the worldly solution, when God said, no, first I will give you some beautiful women. But don't you forget that, I'm going to remind you from the beginning, you asked for me to be part of this. And, it was such a beautiful flow. I mean, I'm going to start a blog, and that is definitely a blog of how God was, not going to let me get all, Tonya has the solution, when it's actually so much better if I'll just listen to his next step.
You spoke to me today because oldest of 4 children, driven, focused, and I always try to just take off and do it. And he's like, why are you stressing? Why?
No, you are so right. I mean, it's ironic, we're the same age, and at 45 we both kind of thought, wait a minute. And my sister sent me this little message this morning, and it said, don't try to be so much a success, but be someone of value to others. And so it was just, it's so hard when you're wired and you've been taught. And I listened to a lot that you said about, making that win happen, when really there's a beauty in just doing it differently, and differently actually takes an effort to not push too hard and to listen more. So
For sure. Well, I've really enjoyed this time with you, and for all the readers, make sure you reach out. Tonya's amazing.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.